Welcome to the Tundra. Imagine a vacation filled with Arctic adventures and beautiful blooming prairies. The Arctic is located in Alaska, northern Canada, Russia, and also small parts of Greenland, northern Scandinavia, and northern Siberia.
Here are a few of the abiotic factors associated with the tundra. Our first example is permafrost. Permafrost is a condition that characterizes the tundra. It means that the subsoil is continuously frozen, only the upper part thaws in the summer.
The permafrost causes poor drainage and does not allow for trees because the roots cannot penetrate the frozen soil. The climate is also very cold. There is little light for many of the fall and winter months, and the precipitation levels are as low as some deserts.
Next, let's talk about some of the plants native to the tundra. Plants have adapted to the harsh environment and cold temperatures by creating communities called alpine tundra. In these communities, plants such as willow, tufted hair grass, and marsh marigolds have learned to grow under a harsh layer of snow, have shallow roots due to the permafrost, and do not need much water to survive.
When the short summer season arrives, flowering plants are able to bloom very quickly, and all plants are able to perform photosynthesis in extremely cold temperatures. Not only have plants adapted, but animals have too. Most animals, such as the prairie falcon, migrate to the tundra in the summer and depart for the cooler months, completely bypassing the frigid temperatures.
Although most animals migrate, some stay all year round. For example, the Arctic wolf and brown bear have adapted to withstand the harsh environment. Brown bears' main adaptation is their ability to hibernate. During the summer months, brown bears consume as much food as possible and are able to store this food as a layer of fat under their skin. This fat insulates the bear from the cold and is converted into energy throughout its hibernation period.
The Arctic wolf does not hibernate, but instead stays warm with its heavily insulated coat. The fur retains heat and provides protection for the wolf by camouflaging itself in the white snow.
The tundra biome is extremely cold, with average temperatures falling well below negative 30 degrees Fahrenheit in the winter and averaging temperatures between 37 and 54 degrees in the summer. So, keep that in mind when packing. Bring lots of warm clothing, especially layers. The tundra's yearly precipitation, including melting snow, is no more than 10 inches, a great attraction for those looking to get out of rainy climates. The best time to visit this biome would be during the summer, where the temperature is at its warmest and the upper part of the soil has thawed. There are endless opportunities for outdoor adventures during the summer, including hiking and camping, but still make sure to bundle up.
The few issues that the tundra biome is facing has to do with global warming, pollution, and human exploitation of natural resources. The average temperature of the tundra, which is a traditionally cold biome, has been increasing due to a stronger ultraviolet rays coming through the depleting ozone layer. As a result of the heating up of the tundra, the permafrost in the Arctic tundra has been melting, releasing CO2 gases normally trapped in the soil. The melting of the permafrost has the potential to radically change the landscape and what species are able to live there. Aside from global warming, pipelines have been constructed to find and transport oil in the tundra biome, and this can destroy habitats and cause physical disturbances. Oil spills have also threatened wildlife and damaged ecosystems.
There are a few endangered species in the tundra, specifically in the Arctic tundra. These species include the prairie caribou, the Arctic fox, and the polar bear. The rising temperatures in the Arctic tundra are preventing the caribou from being able to bury under snow or ice and reducing the accessibility to mosses and lichen that they normally feed on. The Arctic fox is considered critically endangered because, in the past, fur hunters drastically reduced the population of the Arctic fox in some areas. The small amount left are struggling to recover, and they are very sensitive to disease and fluctuations in food availability. The melting ice in the tundra also has been allowing red foxes to come and compete for food with the Arctic foxes, which is increasing their struggle. The status of the polar bears in the Arctic tundra is vulnerable because they are at a high risk of extinction. They spend the majority of their lives on ice, living and hunting. As the ice has been continuing to melt from the rising temperatures, they are being driven off the land to areas where food sources are already scarce. The impact of climate change for this biome will be an increase in shrubbery and trees as well as melting of permafrost. The tundra is normally cold and treeless, but due to the increase in temperature, shrubs and trees are growing all over the tundra biome. The spread of trees and shrubs should could increase global warming through the albedo effect, which is the effect that when snow falls on the tundra's short shrubs, the flat blanket of snow reflects the sun's energy back into space, which prevents heating. But when trees and higher shrubs rise above the snow, the white blanket is broken up and less reflective, so there is a higher absorption of the heat. The increase in temperature can thaw permafrost and change the nutrients and the carbon in the soil.
A keystone species in the tundra is the Arctic fox. It is the food supplier for polar bears, wolves, and kittiwakes, which are some of the main animals in the tundra biome. As the Arctic fox becomes extinct, it is hurting the other populations and could contribute to the successive extinction of those other species as well. In order to mitigate these climate changes, the biggest proposed solution is switching to alternative energy sources to minimize global warming. The tundra's biggest threat that relates to all of these issues is global warming, so diminishing the release of harmful greenhouse gases would greatly benefit this biome. The tundra plays a huge role in regulating the temperature of the planet. It provides a place for the warm air from the tropical areas to be cooled down and sink back into the equator, cooling down the temperature of the planet and causing different weather and air currents. Without the tundra, the climate system as we know would be drastically changed.
Different biomes wouldn't be able to support life anymore, and thus the tundra is key in maintaining global biodiversity. If the tundra were to disappear, unique plants and animals like the caribou, lichen, and polar bears, which only survive in one of the world's harshest climates, the tundra, would cease to exist, greatly affecting the world's biodiversity. Also, the tundra's permafrost, the land that never completely thaws, has proven vital to tracking climate change and alerted us to the rapid changes in climate over the past century. The tundra is the Earth's carbon sink. The permafrost contains a lot of carbon that would otherwise escape into the atmosphere. The release of the carbon in the soil on the permafrost would accelerate global warming across the planet.